Hey everyone, Felix from Nintendo Live here, and today I'm here to talk about my favorite games that no one talks about. I have 3 games that I want to discuss, so why don't we talk about the first one, called Palamedes, which I got to try out on a good old NES. So what is this game? Well, you might be curious about the name Palamedes, and that is because in Greek mythology there was a god called Palamedes who was said to have invented the dice. And you use dice in this game. It's kind of like Tetris or those type of puzzle games where you have to, in this instance, instead of getting blocks from top to down, you have to get blocks from bottom to up. The way that this works is that you can cycle through the dice 1 to 6 and then you shoot them up. And as you make dice disappear, you can see them in your bottom row. Here you want to make combos so you can use them to clear lines. For example, the best one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, removes 5 lines. There's loads of different ones that removes different amount of lines. You can search up the manual online and then look, okay, these are the combos I should try to make. You can play the game solo, trying to get the highest score, play against a friend where you're sending lines over to one another, or if you want some real challenge, try out the tournament mode where you play against NPCs. So, how did I stumble upon this game? Well, I'll tell this about all the games, but for this one in particular, I was visiting a friend who has a video game shop here in town, and he was having a game of essentially 20 people would compete in lots of different old school games, and one of them was Palamedes. I don't think anyone there knew what it was. I think the only person who knew what it was the owner of the store, and I just fell in love with it. Now, normally I'm not the best at Tetris type games. I'm actually not the biggest fan, as one of the only people in the world, but Palamedes, I saw the light. It was like I didn't have to think. Now this natural talent, as we'll call it, meant that I won my 2 matches, and if I hadn't done that, well, I wouldn't have made it to the final where we had to play Donkey Kong Jenga. And would you believe it? I actually won. Seriously, this event was just awesome. Thanks again to Matthias and Amelia who held this wonderful event in their shop Popcord Gang. Just giving them a shout out now. If you're ever in Aarhus, do check out the store. And if you're not in Aarhus, well, they also have a web shop where you can find loads and loads of really cool old merchandise and video games. When I played it there, I didn't know that there was combos. I just shot a 4 and a 4 and a 5 and a 5, and that would clear that. And later when I played it again, there's also like, you can play single player, just trying to get the highest score before all the lines racked down, and there I just felt like I could keep going. It just made so much sense in my head, and it's the first time I've truly understood those types of games. I've always heard people talk so highly about Tetris and not getting it personally. Playing it in school or playing Tetris 99, I would always fall behind and lose. It just didn't make sense in my brain. Yes, I did try to watch tutorials on how to do that, but then I felt like I was just doing the same pattern over and over again, and I didn't find that very fun. But Palamedes somehow finally made me understand it, and I hope more of you out there will try the game because it is insanely fun. The soundtrack is also incredibly catchy and is constantly going on repeat in my brain. But you know what's also going repeat in my brain very often is the second game on the list, and that is Super Bomberman Land Touch 2. The first one I've not played, but the second one, whew, I grew up with it and I replayed it here last year, and it's sublime. It's made by Hudson, who you might also have heard of via Mario Party, for example, and there's also a lot of great minigames in this one. Now, I had no idea that Mario Party DS and this game was made by the same developers, but now looking back, yes, a lot of its structure with the minigames is quite similar. But what's really cool about this one is that it actually has a story. You have different parts of the island, and there's a great lovable cast of characters. It's just so satisfying the way this game is set up. You have all these gates that are locked off and you need certain pieces to access them, and you get these by completing certain minigames. It's these booths normally with a clown of some sorts standing before it. So you do these minigames and you will get a piece which will unlock a gate, and then you will go to a new region and repeat the process. But it keeps throwing new things just enough to keep it interesting the whole way through. Now, Sion can vouch for me, but I could not put this game down as soon as I picked it up here last year again. It is so addicting, and before I knew it, well, I played the whole thing. There's also multiplayer, so you can, with DS Download play against other people in these minigames, although I've not tried it myself, but it does sound really fun. Now, the way I played this game originally was that I had it for my pink Nintendo DS, and there well, I couldn't finish the game. I felt like I played this game for so long, but it might only have been for like 6 hours or 7 hours. I just could not progress. And the reason was there was a mini game where you had to use the microphone. And wouldn't you know it, the microphone on my DS was busted. So the game was always like, it was like a fantasy. I never saw it to an end, but like I had all these memories with the game. So finally I saw the ending and I realized, well, I wasn't actually that far off. I did almost complete the game. I just didn't fully reach the end, which was a bit unfortunate. Well, it wasn't unfortunate because that meant that I had the drive to keep going here last year, and man, was it worth it. If you have any means of playing this, I imagine the first one is also quite good, but as I said, I haven't played that one. Maybe if I play that one, that will be in one of these videos if I make another one in the future. But we still have one more game to talk about, and it's a game I played on my Wii back in the day called Mercury Meltdown Revolution. So how did I come across this game? I don't feel like this was a game you would see in your regular electronics store, at least I don't remember because I wasn't very old. And normally I would just play, you know, Mario, Mario Bros, Mario Galaxy, that sort of stuff. But the story of how I acquired this game, which unfortunately have lost, I don't know where it is, but the story of how I got it was good. So you might not know this, but as a kid, I played the violin from when I was 4 to 12 years old. And in that time period, I would sometimes go on the street and play my violin and get some money in that way, you know, busking. And one day, a person there saw me and they said they were holding this like big market and they would love for me to come play there as entertainment. Now, I was really fussed about this, mainly for one thing, and that is that they would pay me a sum to play at this market. And that sum was in total $144. That was back in the day, and I wasn't very old. I'd never had so much money on my hands. So after I'd played, I got my money. This was like a huge, like, not just a market, this was like almost a festival. There was loads of booths and people, and one of the booths, well, they had a lot of video games stuff, mainly for the Wii. I was all about the Wii at that time. A big problem I did have though was that when I had friends over, well, I only had one remote. So firstly, I had 4 remotes in total. I bought wheels so we could all play Mario Kart together. I bought wireless stuff so you could plug it in and have like the nunchuck wireless. I don't know why, it was just, I was going absolutely insane. Basically, I spent all my money at that booth. No joke. I bought so many accessories, so many different games. And would you know it, one of the games I bought there was Mercury Meltdown Revolution. So yeah, that was how I got the game. I'm sorry, that was a bit of a long story, but yeah, so what is this game? This is a game where you're a little blob of mercury and you have to balance with your Wii around, and it's actually really creative. So you can split it, you can color it, and you can combine them again to make new colors, and it's just really, really creative and cool. Again, a lot of games I played growing up was kind of just like fever dreams. This didn't feel real. When I was searching up the game, because I couldn't remember what it was called, it was just blob game balancing Wii, and luckily someone on Reddit had me covered. But yeah, this is just really a core memory for me. I remember the box art of the little blob of mercury. There would be different slopes and you would need a certain color to get to goal, or just different obstacles. It was just really, really fun. I mean, I think all these 3 games I talked about were really fun, and I hope making this video that more people will know about them, because seriously, I hear no one online talking about them. But what are some games that you played that you just hear no one talk about? Well, let us know down in the comments below, and hopefully more people will pick it up and get why you enjoy that game so much and why you want more people to play it. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one. Felix from Nintendo Life, out.